Have you ever wondered who the best and worst villains in the Marvel Cinematic Universe are? Before diving into this thrilling exploration, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has captivated audiences for over 17 years, delivering 35 blockbuster films and numerous series on Disney Plus. Um, Yet, while the heroes shine brightly, the villains often fade into the background. Um, uh, Among the many characters, some truly stand out, while others leave us scratching our heads. Let's embark on a journey to rank these villains from the least impressive to the most formidable Pointville. That Starting at the bottom, we have Sonny Birch from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Uh, Despite a film's charm, Birch fails to leave a mark, making him the least memorable villain in the MCU. Next up is Malekith from Thor: The Dark World. While the movie itself is a guilty pleasure, Malekith is often forgotten, lacking the depth to make a lasting impression. Gravik from Secret Invasion follows closely single. Um, Despite the talent of Kingsley Ben-Adir, the character suffers from poor writing, rendering him generic and unremarkable. Darben from the Marvels is another underwhelming antagonist. Um, her motivations are muddled, and the performance lacks the necessary intensity to make her a compelling villain. Ronan Tuzer from Guardians of the Galaxy is next. Um, while Lee Pace brings a certain charm, he ultimately plays a typical alien villain, failing to excite audiences. Dreykov from Black Widow is another character that falls flat. His portrayal lacks depth, overshadowed by the sinister nature of the Red Room itself. Um, Samuel Stearns, also known as the leader, is a character that took years to develop, but ultimately disappoints down being or some 80 seconds. His hidden presence and lack of memorable moments make him forgettable. Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3 is a villain that could have been great, but ends up being overshadowed by the misleading Mandarin. His character lacks the depth needed to resonate with audiences. Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2 provides some entertainment, but the film itself is often considered the weakest in the MCU. Um, uh, his presence is a brief distraction from the overall dullness. Uh, Dormammu from Doctor Strange is a colossal floating head with grand ambitions, but his design, while impressive, doesn't translate into a memorable villain. Ivan Vanko, also from Iron Man 2, is a mix of traditional Iron Man foes. While he has a few exciting moments, he ultimately pales in comparison to other villains. Emil Blonsky, or the Abomination, is a character that has seen better days. Uh, his transformation into a villain feels rushed and lacks the necessary build-up. Caecilius from Doctor Strange is a rogue sorcerer with a menacing vibe, but his motivations are not explored deeply enough to make him a standout. Uh, Darren Cross, who later becomes Modo, is a character that improves with time. His transformation adds a layer of absurdity, making him memorable, if not intimidating. Arthur Harrow from Moon Knight is a cult leader with a slimy charm, but his limited screen time prevents him from making a significant impact. Uh, uh, Ultron, the Avengers' second major antagonist, often faces criticism for uh, being overly humorous. Uh, However, his relatable and James Spader's performance whites the depth. Baron Helmut Zemo is a compelling villain with straightforward motivations. His intricate plan to pit the Avengers against each other is both clever and relatable. Obadiah Stane, the first MCU villain, is captivating thanks to Jeff Bridges' performance. His smug demeanor and iconic lines make him a memorable character. Alexander Pierce, played by Robert Redford, brings a chilling real-world menace to Captain America: The Winter Soldier. His role adds a layer of complexity to the narrative. Jan-Rog from Captain Marvel initially appears as a mentor, but reveals a darker side. His character is compelling, but showcasing a mix of concern and villainy. And the Red Skull, portrayed by Hugo Weaving, embraces a flamboyant comic book style that fits perfectly within the 1940s setting of Captain America: The First Avenger. Arishem, the Judge from Eternals, is a cosmic deity with chilling plans. His lack of charisma holds him back, but his actions are undeniably cold. The Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, strikes a balance between relatability and villainy. His interactions with Peter Parker create a gripping dynamic. Ego the Living Planet is a unique character with a twisted affection for his son. Caruso's portrayal adds depth, making him a endearing yet dangerous villain tried to Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, is a master of deception. His dual persona keeps audiences guessing, making him one of the most impressive antagonists in the MCU. And Thaddeus's, Thunderbolt Ross has evolved throughout the MCU, transitioning from